Welcome back to CryptosRUs. I am George. We're all George. So I have some big news for Cardano tonight. You may have noticed Cardano is pumping after staying steady for quite some time. Everyone seemed to be bashing Charles and Cardano. Why is it not moving? Why is it not moving? Well, today we see some big movement, and I'm going to explain why. In addition, Bitcoin is rallying back up again, and same thing with the entire market. Things are looking pretty outstanding. So let's discuss. Thanks for tuning in, guys. As always, smash up the like, subscribe to the channel. 2 streams every day, 11:30 and 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. So make sure you hit that notification bell in case I'm late so you get notified. And follow me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and check out all the latest news, guides, and articles on CryptosRUs.com. Welcome, my friends. Welcome. All right, so let me change my screen here. So yeah, Bitcoin, right back on track. 45.8, so a little bit higher than this morning and about the same as last night. Just this morning, people were talking about, how it's crashing in the live chat, and I was like, what are you guys talking about? I have no idea what you guys are talking about. But Bitcoin seems to have picked it up a notch tonight. But if you go to Live Coin Watch, you'll see that Cardano is up a staggering 17% today. You know, last few days, last few weeks has all been about Bitcoin and Ethereum. Of course, there's nothing wrong with that, but you could see last 7 days, Bitcoin is up about 20%. Ethereum is up about 26%. And with today's pump, you know what? Cardano has surpassed both of them, 27%. And that is fantastic. And not only Cardano and ETH and BTC, of course, Binance Chain is coming up, XRP is coming up, Doge is coming up, Polkadot, Uniswap, and yeah, ICP up 92% the last week. People keep asking me, is it going to go back to its previous highs of 90 billion? I guess anything's possible, but it has fallen so dramatically. Now it's starting to play catch up, and we'll see where it can end up. But it's at 10 billion already. Can it go 9x from here and get back to its previous highs? Maybe. But today, and anyway, it's not just today. Overall market for last few weeks have been fantastic. You can see the market cap is closing in at $1.9 trillion, and everything is moving in the right direction. And besides this, there's a lot of NFT plays today, a lot of altcoins that have just shot up for no apparent reason. Some due to Coinbase listing, others just because it's oversold, and just because things are hot and people are feeling good and putting their money back in their market again, and that's what we want to see. Now, I'm going to make you guys wait for this big Cardano news. Big, huge, enormous, gigantic news. I'm going to make you guys wait for it until the end because there's a few things I want to talk about. Number one, Coinbase just reported their Q2 earnings, and the numberings are staggeringly good, like astronomically good. So they exceeded all expectations in terms of revenue. $2.23 billion in revenue. It was expected to be 1.78. Their earnings came in at $3.45 per share when it was expected to be $2.33. So the company's net profit is over 4,900%, bringing home $1.6 billion in net profit. $1.6 billion in net profit from $2.23 billion in revenue. That is staggeringly good. Monthly transaction users grew 44% last quarter, up to 8.8 million. Keep in mind, even though it seems like the market has been doing really well for quite some time, keep in mind we were stuck at 30,000 and below for 2 months, right? So Q2 Q2, actually, most of that was during, most of this that I just reported was during the bad months, right? Of course, we had one really good month and things picked up, but imagine, if this keeps going, the number of users coming in and the people that are FOMOing in, imagine next quarter when Bitcoin is at like $70,000 plus what the numbers are. I mean, this shows you the number of people that is jumping in and buying Bitcoin and crypto. I mean, the numbers are so much bigger than before. 2021, even though, yes, we like to make comparisons with the runs back from 2017 and 13, but the numbers are so much bigger, exponentially bigger than before, right? This is now a global thing, not just a US thing, a global thing. Well, I take that back. It's always been a global thing, but think about it. 8 billion people around the globe that all wants a piece of the 21 million, right? That's not a whole lot to go around. So, staggering numbers for Coinbase and anyone else that's going to report, that's a public trade company. I'm sure like Voyager, who's also public traded in Canada, when they report their numbers, it's going to be very, very good. And any other exchange that's in it, that's public traded, will probably report really, really good numbers. And it's more amazing because we just went through 2 months of downward movement, a whole lot of sideways movement, a lot of FUD, right? Despite all that, numbers are still very good. So that's number one. Number two is Venmo, which is also, they're controlled by PayPal, but they are in the crypto space now because PayPal is in crypto space. Venmo is in a crypto space. Oh yeah, PayPal hasn't released their numbers yet. When PayPal released their numbers, it's probably going to be even better than Coinbase because their user base is so much bigger. So I don't even know when they're going to report. But Venmo now has a new feature where you could use the cash back. Okay, you could use the cash back to buy crypto. Interesting. So Venmo credit card customers to automatically purchase cryptocurrency from their Venmo account using cashback earned from their card purchases. This feature is geared to enhance Venmo credit cards reward experience and introduce entirely new audience to crypto in a very seamless and no hassle manner. So if you use Venmo, you use one of their credit cards, now you can buy crypto with your cash back rewards. That's also fantastic. Again, PayPal, Venmo, Square's Cash App, the number of financial apps out there and plus, of course, all the traditional exchanges and so forth. But you add all that up, it's just so many options. And, of course, Robinhood. And there's so many options for people to get in and FOMO in and utilize their stimulus checks, right? So many options out there. Fantastic. All right, what else is there? Take a look at this. This is the contract for ETH2 and how much is locked into the Beacon chain. It has now surpassed 21 billion. 6.6 million Ether is locked into this contract, and you can't withdraw it. You can't withdraw it until ETH2 is done. Okay, so that is supposedly end of December, early January, somewhere around that time frame. So for the next 4 months, you have over 6.6 million Ether locked in, and this number continues to grow higher and higher and higher and higher. And if you calculate the number versus the total circulating supply out there, this is roughly around 8%, 8 or 9%, which is a pretty good amount. If you think about it, there's basically 10% of all ETH holders have basically dedicated their ETH to this new chain, and they're so supportive of it that they're okay without being able to withdraw it within the next 4 months. That's pretty darn good. And let's not forget, this is not the only thing that's making Ethereum go up at this point, but I just want to show you guys that. This looks pretty fantastic. What else is fantastic? FTX announces a long-term investment relationship with Kevin O'Leary, someone that was so negative against Bitcoin and crypto that has done a 180, and now he is the new spokesperson for FTX. This reminds me a lot of William Shatner with Priceline back in the day. it really made Priceline into a big powerhouse, and I'm sure it made William Shatner even more money outside of Star Trek. But I'm pretty sure Kevin O'Leary is getting paid very, very, very handsomely with this long-term relationship, and he is going to be paid in crypto. Entirely in crypto. FTX is just making all the moves. I mean, they're really trying to take advantage of the situation right now, because not only is the market doing better, but Binance is having a whole lot of regulatory issues, right? We haven't heard about the regulatory bodies or nations go after FTX yet, because they're still kind of hiding in their shadow. But FTX is trying to position themselves to be the dominant powerhouse. They're making all the right moves, getting into the sports leagues big time, and then they're investing hugely in many, 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 many projects, and they're bringing on a lot of spokesperson. Remember, Tom Brady signed up with FTX, and now they have the next best person, Kevin O'Leary, who is now also part of the team. So that's also fantastic. What else is there? Those of you guys that are Helium fans, a project I've talked about and supported, they gained 40% after a huge 111 million fundraise from A16, which is from Andreessen Horowitz. Andreessen Horowitz and their A16Z, I think A16Z or something like that. Their investment company just acquired, not just acquired. Yeah, I think they acquired about $2 billion in funding to invest in crypto projects. And they're making a splurge like everywhere. They invested heavily in FTX. Now they invested heavily into Helium. This is a huge, huge investment. 111 million, and not only that, Helium is gaining more and more active nodes to build out their low power mesh network everywhere, cities, globally, and they have over 100,000 nodes. So I'm glad to see this happen. I still hear it's very, very, very difficult to get any miners right now. You guys correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm still hearing it's very difficult to get these miners. But I hear if you do, they're very, very profitable. Very profitable. You can make thousands per month just by having one, especially if you're in the city. That's what I've been hearing. So you tell me if I'm right or wrong. All right. What else is there? BitMex. Remember, BitMex, the biggest derivative exchange once upon a time, and all four of its founders tried to flee the authorities. Well, they all got caught. CFTC basically fined them $100 million. They will still exist, but the four founders still face criminal charges. So they can still be prosecuted and be heading to jail, including Arthur Hayes, right? Arthur Hayes used to be very active on Twitter, bragging about how he could pump and dump whatever he wants to. And now he's in lockup and he's waiting trial. So, and another thing I just want to mention, because when BitMex, and remember when this was announced that the founders were being indicted and they wanted to go after them, I remember right afterwards, a lot of the shenanigans we saw with Bitcoin just kind of died down. Because there's always been rumors that BitMex themselves were playing the market or manipulating the market. And ever since the founders kind of left, that kind of stopped with BitMex, right? So I don't think it's a coincidence, but I think this is a good move overall. Hopefully BitMex will still survive after this and become a legitimate exchange afterwards. All right, what else is there? I have to talk about this because I think this is pretty embarrassing. I don't know how you guys feel. So I tweeted this not too long ago. This is from Poly Network. And we know that they suffer one of the biggest hacks ever in crypto history, but the hacker also seemed to be the dumbest hacker in history, because it's already been identified who he is, his IP address, his email, his name, and he was shut out from a lot of exchanges. But there's rumors how he's going to try to convert to Monero or whatever to try to escape authorities and avoid giving the money back. But anyways, Poly Network decided to post this. Dear hacker, we're the Poly Network team. We want to establish communication with you and urge you to return the hacked assets. The amount of money you hacked is the biggest one in DeFi history. Do they really need to remind the hackers of that? Law enforcement in any country will regard this as a major economic crime. Really? And you will be pursued. That's only if Poly Network goes to every country out there and files files a claim or files with authorities of fraud and criminal activity. That's if that happens. It's very unwise for you to do any further transactions. Okay, thanks for the reminder. The money you stole are from tens of thousands of crypto community members, hence the people you should talk to us to work out a solution. I don't know. To me, this seems like a very desperate attempt to try to woo the hackers to try to give back the money. I mean, I don't know. On one hand, I get it, right? On one hand, if you're a Poly Network, you got to save face. You have to do something. You know, you have to release something to try to make it look like you're trying to work with the hackers to get the funds back, right? But on the other hand, I don't know. It just looks bad. It reads bad to me. I don't know how you guys feel. I mean, the comments on Twitter is pretty horrible or negative towards Poly Network, but I just thought I'd share that. Anyways, okay. Now, I made you guys wait long enough. What's this big, enormous, gigantic, humongous news for Cardano? Why did it pump up, almost 17% today? Well, we know Cardano. The one thing that people are looking for, first of all, besides them being complete, but the next best thing is for Cardano to finish Goguen, which will implement smart contracts on the chain, on the network. There's a lot of projects that is built on top of Cardano, but they're sitting idle with no use because without smart contracts, they can't really execute anything. So this arguably is the biggest hurdle or milestone that Cardano is facing right now. So right now, there's a lot of testing with the testnet. So the latest is the Alonzo Purple upgrade, which is going to be launching on the testnet in the near future. This was from yesterday. Maybe they already launched this on the testnet. I don't know, but it's supposed to be in the near future. So Purple, I believe, is one of the last stages in terms of a full-blown implementation of Goguen on the testnet. But of course, people don't care about the testnet. They want to know the main net. When is it going to be announced, right? Well, Charles did a brief update on Twitter, and I don't know what it is with this update. It seems like Charles was almost like emotional about it. I don't know if he was emotional because he feels like it's finally coming to a conclusion and he's very, very, very happy about the whole thing, or he's emotional because people are attacking him for why things are not done yet. Because he did state last year by this time that Cardano will have hundreds of projects running on top of the mainnet, obviously, with Goguen and everything implemented, and things will be going smoothly, right? So I can't tell if this update is due to the haters getting on him or because he is just really emotional about Cardano and its future completion, right? But basically, this big news is that the ETA or the date for when Cardano will be released on Cardano's mainnet will be announced this Friday. Yes, that's the big news. There's no ETA yet, but in a few days, on Friday, we will know exactly when it will be deployed on the mainnet, which could be very soon. It could be next week. It could be the end of August or beginning of September. It should be coming very, very, very soon, right? So that's the big news. People are very excited about it, and that is why I think Cardano pumped up 17% today to $1.72. And if things continue on, if Bitcoin and the whole market continues on, well, Cardano could be above $2 by tomorrow. And if you look at it, Cardano's recent high was $2.46. So after it passes $2, it's not too far off. It's pretty darn close. Only 30% off its highs. So Cardano is moving in the right direction. A lot of people are excited about Goguen and smart contracts at Cardano. People always ask me about Ergo and Sunday Swap and all these other promising, projects on Cardano. And I keep saying, you gotta wait. You gotta wait until smart contracts is done. Otherwise, they're just placeholders. They're just paperweight, right? So it's a big, big, big event, and it's coming. It's coming. All right, that's pretty much it. All right, let's do some Q&A. Oh man, I had to get a big gulp of water. I said a lot there. Scrolling up, rich buddy says the hacker just bought authorities. Now he is too rich. I guess that's a good point. If you pay him crypto, sure. He took a lot, $611 million worth of crypto. That is quite a lot. Quite a lot of funds. Scrolling down. All right. A lot of ADA fans in here, so that's fantastic. Scrolling down. Cardano Nebula. Well, you just stated what I just said. Rooster says he's emotional because it's going dumb like 2018. All right, cut that out. I don't know why so many people hate on Charles. Someone else is saying Charles Justin's son Hoskinson announcing announcement. That's kind of true. Pre-announcing announcement, but I don't know. Charles used to have no haters at all. Now recently, there's been so much more hate towards him. I don't know what the deal is. Cardano is still doing just fine. It's not lagging by any means. It's sitting at number 5 on the list. So Cardano fans should be very, very, very happy. Very happy. All right. Now, what's your opinion about Hero? I don't know. Sounds familiar. Which one? There's one called Hero, and then there's a Hero token, and then there's a Farm Hero, Meta Hero, Hero Node. They're all like the same symbol. I have no idea which hero you're talking about. If you had to choose one to hold between Harmony One and ACH, which one would you give the best return, short term, long term? I hate questions like that because you don't need to just hold one. If you love both Harmony and ACH, buy both. It doesn't matter if you have $10, $100, $1,000. You can always split it both ways. If you're forcing yourself to choose one and you make a mistake, you're just going to regret it. You go like hate yourself because you didn't pick the other one. Don't do it. Just split it up. Just split it up. Goated Crazy says because they bought high and sold low. That could be. That could be. Edgar asked about Ravencoin. Yeah, I'll tell you what I said this morning about Ravencoin. All right, they're all about tokenization and creating tokens, and they have been doing very well. You could see they're up 90% within the last 7 days. Here's the one thing that turns me really, really, really off about Ravencoin. You scroll right here. Okay, this is what they say. You can make your own security token within minutes and have it trade worldwide. What's the key word? Security. You can make your own security token, right? We know the SEC is going after any security token out there, and exchanges like Uniswap have started delisting security tokens. So that makes me hesitant about Ravencoin because they even say they're about creating security tokens. And if you're in the US, you got to watch out. Now, if you're everywhere else outside the US and you have, there's no worries about security tokens, that's fine. But in the US, that really concerns me. Derek, I think Elrond is okay. I just don't know what's going on with them recently. Hodl Theta or trade for ADA? Theta has been doing very well recently. So you could see up 20% within the last 7 days. They're coming back. I still support Theta. I think they're a fantastic project. And I think ADA is a fantastic project. You shouldn't have to choose. So your question, if you want to trade ADA because you don't have any, well, maybe trade off a little bit, sell off a little bit Theta, keep both because I think both are fantastic projects. But you don't want to get into something after it pumps 17%. So you're getting in at a high point. So you should be asking that question when Cardano wasn't moving, like the past few days. That would have been a good idea. But now, I'm not so sure. Open source dev, George, Charles is an adult. If no one calls out their, you know what, how else could be they held accountable? I mean, I guess that's true. If you make bold predictions, but here's the thing, everyone in crypto makes bold predictions. I made several, and a lot of them were wrong. Like I've been saying, my sources, me, myself, and I, 60% of the time we're right every time, but there's still that 40%. Charles is just hyping up his own project, but, he's been executing. He's been working, right? So it's not like they've been sitting idle and doing nothing like a lot of other projects, right? So you got to cut him some slack, but I do get it. You got to hold him accountable. I remember him saying that if Shelly wasn't done by December, he was going to eat a shoe, and then he ended up eating like a cake shoe or something like that. Yeah, so I remember those times. Is this safe to stake my ETH with IDO on my ledger? Lido, IDO? I don't know what that is. I don't know what project that is. So I don't know. I can't say. Normally, if you're just going to put ETH on your ledger, you just put it on it. But I don't know if there's some other staking play that's on top of it. That sounds a little suspicious, but these days there's a lot of weird things out there. Hey, just wondering, how do you hold profits? Do you stake stablecoins on a platform like Celsius? Is a good idea. Hey, if you have a lot of stablecoins just sitting there, why not? You can put it in Celsius, you could put it into BlockFi, you could put it into, just hold it into Voyager. There's a lot of places you could put it to, right? So you're earning some interest, and while you're waiting, then you can, while you're waiting, if things go down, you can utilize it. So, yeah, why not? There's so much hate. Sputnik says there's so much hate against Charles because Cardano is such a threat to the industry in terms of coming success. I don't know. I guess that's true. If people view that there's only like one blockchain that can rule them all, or only one can succeed, I guess that makes sense. But we know that's silly. There's going to be a ton of blockchain companies that will survive, because every single one is fitting a different niche, doing different things, different traction. Doesn't mean that there's just one that's going to dominate all of them. So I don't know. That's just me. Thoughts on 0x? Yeah, no one talks about 0x anymore. They're a DEX protocol, and no one uses their DEX. So they were really hyped up back in the day. They kind of lost all traction because of AMMs now. So if you're asking that question, whether or not they could come back to their heydays, I don't think so. After BTC, Cardano is technically a superior platform. I guess you could argue that. Ubix, I never looked into them seriously, so I can't tell you. Top picks to outperform BTC in the next 6 months. Everything that's in a big cap, and even the ones I have in my sample portfolio that I've been showing you guys, which I'll show you again tomorrow, all the altcoins should outperform Bitcoin over the next 6 months. That's just how altcoins are. And you can see, for the most part, it's been true, except some bad ones like Litecoin just hasn't been doing well. But you can see ETH, BNB, Cardano, even Doge, and Solana, the good ones, right, are outperforming Bitcoin over long haul. So I think a lot of these will outperform Bitcoin over the next 6 months. It is like a good barbecue, low and slow. Just like a good woman, too. Crypto Truth says, let's say I have a high risk tolerance. Is 77% of my portfolio erratic, crazy? Yes. Yes. It hurts you a number of ways. If Polygon goes down, and there's been times it goes down, you know, it hurts you. Right? And there's times where it doesn't go down, it's sitting idle, but while everything else is going down, that also goes up. That also hurts you. That's why I think you should diversify more. If not financial advice, but if I was you, I would be diversifying more. Someone says my super chat got skipped. Unanimous. I don't know what you said, so sorry. Say it again. Did you see Goy was at 1,600 a few hours ago? No, I did not. Then the coin burning must have been really crazy. So far, nothing. Not that high. 2.65 ETH per minute. $81 million worth of ETH already burned, taken out of existence. EIP 1559 is doing its job right now. Mayor Musaif asking about roof pay protocol. Yeah, no. Your thoughts on PancakeSwap and staking? PancakeSwap staking, especially if you're staking, you know, cake on there, it's like 100% APY. Right? PancakeSwap, you have to watch out. I mean, it is the biggest AMA on Binance Smart Chain, but I do believe it had a vulnerability before, a hack before. I may be wrong. I may be thinking of another project, but with all these AMMs that's promising very high yields, just be careful. Be careful because you never know when or if they get hacked or a vulnerability is found with a smart contract or something like that. But I like PancakeSwap and overall staking, you know, these high interest rates on pools, right? Or, yeah, liquidity pools. Be careful. Let's just say, be careful. Ahmed, thank you. Axis Infinity hit 70. Do you think it's dropped? Axis Infinity, I was wondering what happened to it because it did stabilize for quite some time, and I was like, is it gonna go down? And then boom, 56%. 56%. This is crazy. They are now at $4 billion in market cap. This is why a lot of NFT games and NFTs overall have been going up. Just yesterday, I introduced my new partner, VimWorld, and they shot up today too. I think they're up 20 or 30%. But I mean, Axie Infinity has just been going nuts, absolutely nutty. And you know what? I would say if you're going to get into it, calm down, wait until things settle down. Don't try to FOMO in on a day where it's up 56%. So, okay, Sputnik. You don't need to clarify yourself with another super chat, but I appreciate it. I'm Neutron Cartesi. I think they got pumped up recently due to a exchange listing and a BitBoy video, but there's just a lot of layer twos. I don't know what's really separating them from everyone else, so I'm neutral on them. Polymath is on Coinbase. I thought it's a dead project. Is it worth jumping into? If it's a dead project, then why are you asking if you should jump into it? Polymath, I remember, is about helping project come out with security tokens. So I would stay far away from that project. All right, Bill Collector, thank you. what's going on with Chainlink? It's so low. You know what? Just like all things, when especially a good project, a big cap, just stays steady for a long time, that's usually when it's going to move. So yeah, looking at the last 7 days, it's only up 5%. Really, really trails some of these other guys that are in double digits, right? So does that mean Chainlink's turn is around the corner? Quite possibly. Quite possibly. However, you could see the last 30 days, Chainlink is up 35%, which is higher than most projects. So it does seem like they went up last week, and that's why this week they're not going up. So that's probably the reason. That's probably the reason. Do you know, curious to know who you think the top 3-5 individuals in crypto that brings most credibility to crypto as a whole? I don't know about 5, but Anthony Pompliano is a good one. Michael Saylor, of course, is another good one. I don't know. I don't know who else. Andreas Antonopoulos. I think that's how you say his name. He's also a good one. Who am I missing? Raul Paul. He's another one. I would add Max Kaiser in there because he's a big Bitcoin bull, but he gets really like eccentric and out there at times. So maybe not the best for all audiences. Winklevoss twins, I don't know. No, they're kind of like college guys. Whenever I watch them talk, it's like a couple of like college bros talking and trying to explain Bitcoin. Doesn't really come off that well. Yeah, I think that's about it. Brad, no, definitely not Brad. Jeb, no. Kathy Wood. Yeah, I would say Kathy Wood is a big one. Trias. I heard good things about Trias. It's just a very complicated DeFi blockchain. You know, created by like an MIT professor. Very technical. Even a website is very technical. But basically, they're trying to create a blockchain that's very secure and fast for DeFi projects. So they could be good, but they're very, very small. So I don't know if they're going to get the traction to really pump up. So, all right, that's pretty much it, guys. Overall, the market is doing fantastic, nearing 1.9 trillion. Cardano is doing fantastic. Other projects doing fantastic. And hopefully this big news that Charles announced that's coming this Friday is going to be huge. And hopefully you guys are excited by it. All right, guys, that's it. Thanks for tuning in. Smash the like, subscribe to the channel. I'll see you guys tomorrow, 11:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. All right? Have a good night, guys. Take care.